Zoom meeting.
And we are in a atmospheric river last night, and we
I
got another one
heard,
coming.
I heard. I
Yeah.
grew up in San Mateo.
Okay. Very good.
Well, I get it. I think I decided, other people are hearing this. I decided to go back to basics. And there's many things that people do not understand about their business pages, their websites, etc., as well as their own individual. And there's a guy in here, Paul Balash. Hello, Paul.
Ballack,
Unmute yourself.
Professor Ballack.
Yeah, he's still muted, but I think
He's wonderful.
as I looked at what's going on, we're at the beginning of a new year, right?
Yep.
So it's the time when you really need to open up your mind instead of having it closed. So by doing that, it's funny how progress is made. People are very energetic about the new year, right? So you go
That's when the
into
gyms are the busiest, right? All
say that
gyms
again?
are filled up. Gyms and Pilates
Oh,
classes and everything are
that's
always the
true.
fullest at the new year.
Yep. Yeah, but it's all, that's how we think. Isn't that right? And if you really think about what these networking masterminds, whatever you want to call them, it's about people getting together. And what do you want to do? I think that's a good question for everybody. Anybody want to respond?
Yeah, we want to share information,
Bingo.
and we want to be more for me, it's about greater education and understanding about what I do.
Yep.
I'm not trying to convince anybody. Look, it's here. If you're interested, if you'd like to know more, wonderful. If you don't want to know more, that's wonderful too. It might take you some other way. Let me know.
Agreed.
Yep. So today we had scheduled to work on our elevator pitch, and if somebody obviously get feedback to see what resonates with the group. And I know that some of you have already really good presentations that you already have crafted, and let's just see where they resonate with this group today. I think everybody here has been to Mastermind before, so we don't need to go into all of the details. Michelle, did you have a comment?
I was just going to say, I thought as a way to evaluate other people's elevator pitches, maybe it would be helpful to have some sort of a framework. So I actually I pulled up kind of what the best practices are for an elevator pitch, and it includes 4 components: your product name and category, so what your product or service, the problem you're attempting to solve, your proposed solution, and the key benefit of your solution. So if we keep that in mind, then as we're listening to other people's pitches, we can, help them clarify what they're doing well or what they could be doing better.
Love
Excellent.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, are you getting a CSV file at the bottom of your right-hand side of your Zoom?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't see it. Did they take it away? No comment.
I'm not
Ask
sure
your
what
question again, Bob.
The
Yeah.
CSV file that you can copy at the bottom right of your Zoom meeting, it's not there. Did they move it?
What's in the file? Bob?
Yeah, where was the CSV file coming from? There's a new section of sending files and the send, but I've never
Well,
seen
you know what? I'm seeing it in chat now, but I see it, they moved it.
What is it,
Right.
Bob?
Pardon me?
What is it? What's in the file?
This is where you can leave all your contact information. It's now under chat. They just moved it.
Hmm.
No, it's been there for a while, but there's 4 icons at the bottom of the chat. The one that we're most used to is that you can take a screenshot, but there's one that's a rectangular thing that says file. And if you click on
Yeah.
it, then you can send any file you want to the group. I think that's what Bob's talking about, but that setup's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Um,
And you
More
can
than
always
3
drag and
weeks.
drop.
More than 3 weeks, because
Yeah.
I'm the Zoom guru of 3 weeks ago. So I don't know what happened in the last 3 weeks, but I know it was there 3 weeks ago.
it changed. It changed. Well, we'll see. I think yesterday changed too. But I used to see all my the chat is now on the which you click on. I used to have a CSV file that I could copy everything down. And in essence, what the chat is about is your CSV file. This is interesting.
Well,
So they
Bob,
just
I think
moved-
we're all using computers in the last couple of years. Maybe yours is a little older.
I tell everybody you'll love this. I worked for a company called Max Factor. I was a director of accounting. And this was back in the very, very early 80s that I worked for them. And they had massive frauds. So I was paid to clean up all the frauds that were going on. And so I went from department to department, then I went to different facilities. You know, it was really, really interesting. The accounts payable department was the first department I tackled, had a $200,000 fraud, which today equates to what, 1.4 million? I think that's still a lot of money, don't you? So everything keeps changing on us, you know, and look what's happening with AI now. I'd be very curious to see hands on the people that are using their AI.
Yep.
How many?
Just used it this morning.
A small bit, getting into it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I am integrating AI into mycity.com. So I made a very, very conscious decision. MyCity.com used to be one of the 400 most trafficked sites on the entire internet. And I bought the company. This is like 2001. I bought the company. I gave a venture capital company 15% of my company, and they paid me $175,000. And they went from being these are all interesting stories. They went from being venture capitalists to vulture capitalists. They had rights to a board seat. They would come into my meetings, and then they would try to disrupt me because they only had 15% of my company. So I kicked them out. They could no longer come to the board meetings. They had the right to a board seat, but they could no longer come to my offices. And they were just perpetual. They kept being vulture capitalists, so to speak. So I just shut it down. I shut my city down for a number of years and decided to bring it back. So we have a lot of things that are going on nowadays, right?
Yep.
Don't we?
We do.
Well, you want to talk about basics? Anybody interested?
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes of time.
Yeah, I'd like to share, Bob, that I'm working with Oxford University on their narrative a storytelling strategy that they use to create the most successful environmental city in Europe. And it's about using narrative storytelling to grow your city, because a lot of the retail stores are closing in my city and surrounding cities. And it's kind of about invigorating the city. And I was thinking about my city and how that could be incorporated with the Oxford University strategy of narrative storytelling to really expand your city and all cities. So we should connect on that.
Oh my God, this is a phenomenal conversation, because I'll give a couple pieces of advice. Go look at your heading on LinkedIn. It's right below your name. Most people do not know how to set up their profiles correctly. So, I think if we spend a couple minutes just talking about your profile, and I could show you some of the things that people miss, then it makes a huge impact. And anybody that knows anything about SEO. So I like what you did, Mike. I'm looking at the first sentence underneath your name. It says AI business networking. That's a pretty powerful statement. It's
Yeah,
not.
just so you know, I told Breck I would have to continue the meeting on the phone. I have to go pick up my wife. She's coming back from Australia, and I got to go pick her up. So I will have to continue this via the phone. So sorry about that, but
No
I
problem.
have to.
Hopefully she comes home with an accent.
Okay. It's a good one. All right, I will pick it up via the phone. Thanks, everybody.
You
Maybe
got it.
Breck
Thanks,
can
Mike.
fill you in, because I'm working with Breck on everything, so he knows about what I'm doing as much as I do, or even better, because he's an expert at setting up LinkedIn events, and I think it's brilliant. So I will catch up with you soon, hopefully. Thank you.
Have fun.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Interesting conversation here. So I'll give you another example. And it's worthy of a discussion as far as I'm concerned. I started doing search engine optimization at the very, very beginning of the web. Okay? Because if you can't get found, what's the sense in having a website? Right? So can I date myself, everybody? It's up to you.
You already have. If you have
Oh,
to
you're
ask
looking
if
at
you're
the
dating
beard,
yourself,
dude.
then it's too late.
So I the term SEO, right? I started before the term even existed. So I called it search engine placement. SEO won out. I owned over 1,000 domain names. I was doing SEO for all sorts of customers out there. But it's still a very, very vital component. Now, guess where SEO belongs? It also belongs on your heading underneath your name in LinkedIn. And I've even done studies on that. So here's the key, everybody. There's a separator. It's called a Boolean search, where at the beginning of a word, you put a quote or a slash or something, and at the end of the term, you put another slash. And what that does is the internet picks up Boolean searches. And if you typed in a Boolean search in LinkedIn, they've done a lot of perfecting of it, certainly, but they're not all the way there. They haven't conveyed this stuff to so many people out there.
Hey, Bob,
Yeah, go for it.
are you available on the 22nd? Because we need a presenter on February 22nd, and just to just to respect everyone's time today that came to get feedback on their pitch, we need to get into those or we're going to run out of time.
Yeah,
But
love
maybe,
to.
but you have you have so much value to add that we all could learn from, but let's actually put it into the agenda. Just out of respect for, for everybody that was prepared to get feedback today
I love
on
it. I
on the
love it.
pitch. So
You know,
yeah,
in fact,
if you're available on the 22nd, let's do a whole presentation just on that. And if we want to expand into how to, set up an event, how to invite to the event. I mean, that's something that I've been working on with, with
perfect.
Mike, and we've even filmed some training videos on it already too, so that we could
I
make
love
those
it. I
available
love
to
it.
everybody.
And for
Yeah.
everybody that, we got a lot of people that return to this meeting every single solitary week, right?
Yep.
Have
Excellent.
your profile available. So give us the link to your website or to your LinkedIn, and I can show
LinkedIn.
people the deficiencies that exist.
Yep, that's good. Good.
Okay.
You can always start with mine and tell me how I can improve mine. I'm always open to improvement. So thank you.
I was looking at yours a little while ago. I have a couple.
So let's get into this. And I don't have, Bob, I don't know if you want to record it or if you want to give me the ability to record.
Yeah, let me.
Oh, all right. I
they
should,
are-
it's just sent you the request to allow me to record.
There you go.
And then, okay, there we go. We're now recording. So excellent. So, any brave soul that would like to go first? And if so, just go and raise your hand or just holler at me and we can get started with that. And Patrick's ready. He is brave. Well, he's been up a few more hours than the rest of us. So
Yeah, you're right. I've had more coffee than the rest of you. Yeah, yeah. And really looking forward to that, Bob, even though I'll be on the road and I'm going to tap in. But so we're talking.
we'll record it for you.
Thank you, thank you. I wasn't here last week because of a whole lot of reasons, but I really missed you guys. But look at so you're talking about a kind of an elevator speech or how you'd introduce. Well, that would depend on the context, but generally this is what I say is people say, what do you do? Well, I'm working with a team of global entrepreneurs who are on a mission to take a little known life-changing health technology. And our goal is to make it a global household name in the next 3 to 5 years. And this is opening up significant financial opportunity for the right person. Does that sound like something you'd like to know more about?
Okay. Now, I was going to ask Michelle to put those four things in the chat for us to kind of check them off as we go.
Yes.
I jumped the gun. Michelle.
No. I was wondering if she was checking them off since she presented that. What a great tool.
Okay, they're in the chat. Now,
look at that.
Those are for an information product. It is obviously a little bit different if it's something else, but those are the basic components.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, Patrick, it does depend on the context, but in this particular case, this is the best I can do.
Yeah. So did Pat, so I understand, the product is in a new innovation in wellness. I understand that. Did he specifically solve a particular problem?
No, I think the problem is that he was pitching to investors. So as opposed to an end user or someone who might buy from him, I think that's the difference.
Well, essentially, I was trying to create curiosity
and
intrigue. And if you'd like to know more, you know, but you'd be asking, well, you see, I would ask people, look, really, I'm looking for people who believe that their health is their greatest wealth. And it's up to them to take full responsibility and to invest into it. So that's the category I'm in. But as Michelle said, you know, the context, and you get around to that. But my pitch there, the main pitch was more for business people, because they're more orientated to making change. Without entrepreneurs, we'll be all in a funny place, you know.
So Patrick, I'm just a little confused, because are you focused on people who are dealing with health challenges?
Yes, I'm looking for people who have a health challenge, or know somebody who has a health challenge.
Okay, well, I think
again, you see, you know, you're speaking with somebody and they want to drink a water. You don't want to come at them with a fire hose. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to have a conversation, and where they are, but depends on where they are, you know.
well, you know, it's like anything. Not everybody's going to be our prospect or our clients.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And
We
we have
got to
to
really
respect that.
define who that is. And, you know, what comes to my mind is, are you looking for people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired? Right.
That's one category,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's like you got to identify that, because if I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I'm so tired of being sick, or I'm so tired of taking pills, or whatever it is. And I think your pitch can really help people to connect to it by saying something more defined around that, more specific.
Since the Affordable Care Act, since the Affordable Care Act and you know, Obamacare making access for wellness and healthcare more available, our costs have gone up 5 trillion with a T in medical spend, and every one of us know more sick people than we've ever known before.
Well,
Everybody is on a pill, right, Breck? Everybody is taking pills. It's crazy.
You all know I'm a type 1 diabetic for the last 48 years, right? 4 injections a day. Now, I was reading with interest that in America, the average cost was around $600 a month to service the patient with insulin and related needles and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm told, well, I read that it's now $35. So is that Obamacare, or was I misreading it, or, you know?
It's one therapy.
It's not Obamacare. What happened was, under the Biden administration and Congress, they passed a law that for those who are old enough to use Medicare, under the Medicare, the co-payment for the insulin cannot be any more than $35 per month for people.
One therapy for one insurance group. Everyone else is still spending $600 and something a month.
Thank you for clarification. Thank you.
The issue, what happened was, they tried to force it upon every insurance company. It went to court, and in the process of, through the court or Congress, whatever, it was limited to the government. The government has control over government funds, government insurance, Medicare and Medicaid. They don't have control over the private insurance market.
Yep. Okay, let's get back to the agenda here. So any other feedback for Patrick, and taking those notes, maybe being more specific about the problem that you're solving, and back to I know Mike is only listening mode right now because he's driving to the airport, but the whole storytelling, every time you can incorporate a personal experience like you just did with us after the fact. You know, you've struggled with diabetes for 40 years. Well, what has this solution done, you know, for you? So incorporating those personal experiences, I think, is key too. So any other feedback for Patrick before we move on? Okay, excellent. Who's up next? Michelle, are you ready?
Sure, I'm always ready.
Okay.
I always feel like I'm stepping into an elevator, and that's the whole idea, right? You know,
Yeah,
you
right,
ride up,
exactly.
you ride up to the 40th floor, and you only have a couple of seconds to pitch, and that's
Yep.
the whole idea.
Everyone close
So-
your elevator doors. Okay, yeah, we're ready.
So at Rabin Roberts Research, we help companies make better informed business decisions by using market research data to support those decisions. We help them minimize their risk and maximize their opportunities. That's it.
Yeah, see, simple, right to the point.
Yeah.
Yep. What,
But I will take feedback. I will take feedback.
okay, so I understand exactly what you do, but is there a specific problem?
Nope,
Okay,
there isn't. It's any business or marketing problem or investment that anybody is making that needs support with data. So if you are making a large investment, a very large investment, millions of dollars, you don't want to go by the seat of your pants, right? You don't want to go by gut. You want data to support the decision, and that's what we do. We develop the data.
right.
Michelle, can you read your pitch one more time, please? After you've given us that information.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So you just gave us some really key information about what you do.
Yeah.
So I just
So-
want to see if
yeah.
your pitch ties into that.
Yeah, so we help companies make better informed business decisions using market research data, helping them minimize their risk and maximize their opportunities.
So my feedback would be
I'll take it. Go ahead.
the risk piece earlier in the pitch. You know,
Okay.
we help businesses lower the risk
Lower risk.
of making bad
Which-
decisions. by
Yeah, which could be
providing
the
them with
problem, right?
Information.
That,
Right.
yeah, that
Right.
covers her problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would, I like what Cindy just said with the risk, but what you just said about if you're going to be spending a lot of money, you want to make sure that you have the data to back it up, and you're not just having a gut, not just going from your gut. Something in there to tell them what it is that they're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna take a risk. I better know more about what I'm doing. Maybe one more sentence. Maybe one more sentence at the end of what you're saying, because you've got yours is a nice short pitch.
Short is good.
Yeah. What about expanding on the data, you know, saying something about factual or something that it's not just what people feel, right? You're not surveying, oh, I feel that'd be a great idea. No, you're actually substantiating it with actual, you know, facts.
Hard data, statistically significant, reliable data.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Any other comments for Michelle? Okay, it was
I don't have a
near
comment.
perfect.
I don't have a comment as much as how long, when we talk about elevator pitch, how long are we talking about? Because I know the original one, I think, was with Ross Perot. It was multiple floors. I mean, how long are we talking about here? So give me an idea of what you have
I'm
in
going to
mind.
give you
since
30
this is
floors. 30 floors.
30 floors, that's fine. Okay. I mean, I had to do one.
We don't have buildings that high. I don't know.
I had to do one on January 1st, which was 4 floors, but so.
That's short.
Well,
That's really
I've
short.
been in Ross Perot's elevator, and it goes pretty fast. So that's not a lot of time, even when you're going all the way up to the penthouse suite where his office is.
No, I wasn't promoting my product when I had to do that elevator pitch. But anyway, all right, I'll wait to hear others. Thank you. So I can formulate my own.
Yep. Who else? Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Great.
Sure. What I use, and I think in terms of standing up in a meeting of something like that, and they're asking you to go to do something. And what I typically say is, hi, I'm the CEO of Instead Advisors. My company gives money to businesses and business owners by helping them identify the government credits and incentives and tax strategies that they may not know exist in their businesses.
Yeah, great.
Very clear.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. And is that a perceived problem?
Yeah, I haven't had anybody say that it wasn't a problem yet.
Right. I was going to say
Whatever
that's
it is,
just
I gotta
it's
pay $500 to the government. That's too much.
yeah, it's just a given, right? You don't even have to
Yeah,
state
exactly,
you
right.
are paying too much in taxes. That's
That's
just a
right.
given.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Any feedback? He's got that down.
Very good, very good.
Yep. Okay.
All right, I'm leaving.
I
You
guess
guys.
I guess you're perfect, but we need your perfect help for everyone else's. So stick around. So all right, who wants to go next? All right, Phil.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Phil Singleton with Civic Advisors. I'm a wealth accumulation and wealth distribution specialist. Have you heard that ignorance costs you money? Well, I teach people how to develop wealth accumulation and wealth distribution strategies. Typically, my clients enjoy about 50% more wealth by utilizing our specific design systems. Phil Singleton with Pacific Advisors.
Excellent. Feedback for Phil?
Could you put that 50% up front, or say we can, with my company and the systems of my company, we can double your retention, double your capital retention, something like that. Something that says something up front that just catch their.
The only
catch
reason
their
I put
attention.
it at the end because on the components 1, 2, 3, 4, that was the fourth, the key benefit. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it up front. You gotta get their attention somehow. Otherwise they're looking back at their phone.
Also
Yeah.
doubling would be 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We can double your, instead of having 50% more, it's double. Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, the only thing I
Yeah.
have to be vague on that, because if I say we're going to give you 50% every time, I'd go to jail.
I was going to say you'd have a visit
You
from
have your
the
securities
SEC.
license. You can't make a claim that's not
Right.
Phil, did you say,
guaranteeable.
what did you say about your clients exactly getting 50% more wealth? What was the
They
exact
could accumulate 50%
They
more
could.
wealth than
Okay.
people who do
Okay.
not use our systems.
Okay.
So,
Can you say anything more about your system?
excuse me.
Could I say more about it? Absolutely.
in your
but
pitch.
I will
in your
schedule an
pitch.
appointment. No. If you want to learn more, you need to
To
schedule
find
some
out
time
more.
and we can get together.
In your pitch, could you say anything? This is my feedback. Is there anything more you could say about your system?
Well, not without getting to a deep conversation.
Okay.
So when I meet someone, the whole part that I think is to get an appointment. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
All I want to do is schedule an appointment, then we have time
Right.
to talk.
And are they
Yeah.
proprietary systems?
Yes, they are.
You might want to say that.
That
So
would be a good word to put in there with
Yeah,
our
'cause-
proprietary system.
Proprietary, unique, something like
With
that.
our utilizing our proprietary design systems, that would be good. Let me
Yeah.
put that in there.
Not everyone's doing what you're doing. That's the differentiator.
So my feedback, Phil, would be consider dumbing down the terminology you're using. So instead of wealth accumulated, say maybe you could be richer than, so there's a bank in Canada, their slogan is you're richer than you think. Right? Like, to me, that's a fantastic line because their goal is to help people save more money. So something like, instead of wealth accumulation, say, use the word richer, so people might resonate to that more.
You want to be rich.
I want to be rich.
I can make you rich.
You need to talk to me right now.
That was my favorite chain of tax preparation services in Memphis. Mo Money tax preparation.
You want more? We'll give you some more.
Yep, it was spelled M-O money.
Awesome.
I can't get that to compliance. But
Yeah.
And if you're changing your pitch, it's going to take 5 months to get it approved. So maybe stay where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
well, this is verbal, so what I say verbally is a lot different than if I wrote it down and put it out somewhere.
This is
Like
being
on
recorded,
LinkedIn,
Phil.
I would get dinged.
Well,
This is
by the way,
being
instead of using the
recorded.
word, instead of using the word rich, you might use the word wealthier. Since, going back to Cindy's suggestion of dumbing it down, you might want to use the word wealthier because everyone has their own definition of rich, whereas wealthier may not put you as much of a box.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. And just that proprietary solution is
Yeah.
key. Think about your audience because he's feels mainly going to be in front of people who are involved in wealth accumulation and get the concept. But obviously,
I'm going
if
to
you
use this at a networking event at 11:30. So
yeah,
we'll see how this works.
Then you may want to simplify a couple of things there that make it resonate with everybody in there because you don't know what your audience is in just a networking event.
By the way,
Awesome.
Michelle, he used the word could, which is what protects him from getting in trouble. But,
Yeah. All right. Who would like to go next? All right, Cindy.
All right, my name is Cindy Gordon, and I am a health insurance agent. I help individuals, families, and small businesses find health coverage that fits their needs, provides value, and helps to keep as much of their hard-earned dollars in their pocket. On average, we're lowering premiums by about 25% while helping people become informed consumers for their health care services.
Okay. 1,
Good.
2,
I like that.
3, 4.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very clean.
Covered excellent. And is there so sometimes people have specific licenses that box them in. Do you have to state what states that you are licensed in, or you're
I can offer coverage to anybody in any state.
yeah, so that'd be the only suggestion is that you're because people that know about the health insurance or any kind of, even in Phil's, his with financial advisement, there's certain licenses that are required for certain states. So can you operate in all 50 states?
Thank you.
Is you feel it's necessary to say I'm an insurance agent up front for state sentence? Because because your second sentence to me is the sentence, is the grabber.
Yeah.
Is it necessary?
Nope.
You could
so.
even just say that you're a benefits professional or
like something like that, because I know in some of your products, Cindy, you don't have to be an agent. You can't. It doesn't matter if you're an agent or not, because it's
right.
non-insurance products. So really, I personally I like that benefits professional. If you want to say something like that, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Benefit professional might be too broad.
It's too
broad.
I was going to say it's too broad, and I'll explain why in all due respect, because I listen to you regularly, Mr. Terrell. And the reason I say is because she's focusing on health insurance. If she were focusing on a broader clientele, much like Mr. Singleton did a moment ago, that would be a different story. But because she's focusing on health, she needs to start off with, in fact, I actually would say instead of insurance, I would start saying health insurance. Since health is what you're focusing on, I would start off with that right away.
For health benefits.
Health benefits, agent health insurance, whatever, but I would include health as part of it so that that's the key word, the key phrase on the health insurance, because that's what you want people to think about now is health insurance. And by saying what you do, they now are focused on health insurance for themselves.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other feedback for Cindy? All right, excellent. Who's up?
I'd be happy to go if no one wants to go before me. Okay.
No, go for it.
All right, thanks. So I am pitching a solution. I'm going to do this in about 30 seconds. Market researchers need organic qualitative data on their target audiences and social media integrated into their primary research to help organizations make better decisions more confidently. The challenge is they don't have the time to find the audiences by pouring through thousands of social media mentions. They need enough mentions to be statistically representative, and they lack qualitative research experience to make sense of the insights. That's where the social media ethnography comes in. It captures unfiltered behavioral and attitudinal conversations from statistically representative target audiences in social media on any topic. It's delivered in an interactive dashboard, visualizing a holistic story, and its transparency allows for exploratory questions to be answered.
Wow. Feedback. I'm just glad, Tom, that you and Michelle are presenting in a couple of weeks, so I can actually really understand, because that a lot of that went right over my head.
Right.
think
The
that's the
follow-up to this is in
problem.
2 weeks, in case you have any further questions, right?
Yeah, two weeks he's presenting. We'll get into the meats and the bones of what he just said.
But for the
I
sake
don't
of the
think he
discussion,
could. He couldn't deliver it in 30 floors. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
Yeah.
so for the sake of what we're trying to do here, we're talking about a powerful introduction, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Give it the KISS philosophy, because if you make it too complicated, you're going to go over people's heads, and you're going to lose them. So you might want to think about dumbing it down. I guess it's probably a good
Okay.
spread.
Yep.
Yep. Patrick.
This is really good. We're all giving information, and when you give information, we expect and we hope for a result. Now, the danger is that we could become emotionally attached to the decision the person would make, but it's not our decision. We have to, as I said earlier, to put into context where these people are. Do they have a health challenge, or are they looking for an opportunity? And, you know, we have to meet them where they are, and the dignity of where they are. And I think that's most important. And you can't necessarily do this in 7 floors or 40 floors. I think there's a crazy thing there. I must get this message across, you know, in 40 floors or whatever. That's just me. Sorry. That's yeah.
Well, it's just an introduction, right? So you just want
Yeah,
to
yeah, an introduction, and you get a sense of where you are. You see, I don't know if AI will be able to do this, you know. I wish Mike was here, and because it doesn't have this. It hasn't studied the humanities as yet, you know, and you know, the context.
Hey, Tom, I have a really good idea based on what Patrick just said.
Yeah.
If you took what you just read and dropped it into AI or ChatGPT, whatever you know, and you said, take this information and create an elevator pitch. I wonder.
Yeah, and give those four things that you talked about
according to this framework.
Yeah.
What would you get? Yeah, I think that might be interesting.
Sure. I used ChatGPT 4.0. I finally got off the waiting list, so that'll be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can just keep hitting revise until
I know. It's the best A/B tester you could possibly have until it finally actually says, you know what? It doesn't get any better. You've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom,
that's awesome.
if you get a new and improved elevator pitch before the presentation, maybe you could share it with us then.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay.
You know, he'll have one before we're done today if he plugs it in right now. So
I will actually do that.
Yep, exactly. That's awesome.
Sorry, my feedback, Tom, is it's all coming from your head. Talk a little bit from your heart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Man, I'm trying to incorporate everything that everyone said so far, and I can't do it all. It's all good information. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, I think, but
it's not going to be an elevator ride, Breck. It's going to be a 10-mile walk with somebody.
Yeah, you know, come golfing with me. We have 4 hours to discuss this.
Right. There's
Armand,
another
Cheryl?
consideration. Right. There's another consideration. You know, when you share information and people get it intellectually, but they do nothing about it necessarily until it moves to their heart.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting out of here. So I get on my laptop and I says, I'm going to the Canary Islands and I'm getting some sunshine because I can't stand the weather here and this kind of thing. Now it has moved to your heart. Now you've taken action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So intellectually, we're full of it, you know, but are we taking action? I saw a guy today, he was very overweight, and he's eating a bag of crisps and a bottle of Coke. And I'm saying to myself, isn't that interesting? Do you know, now this guy is a PhD and he, you know, so he's out of balance. He's clearly out of balance, but there you go.
Yeah. He's the perfect person for Armand to work with.
Yes, yeah, exactly, exactly. And
Well,
Armand is
actually,
available. That's the good
He has
thing.
well, he needs, but to do that, he still has to recognize he has a problem. So a lot of people don't recognize it's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
So
problem. Yeah.
I could just end up throwing up on the guy about what he needs to do, but it won't sink.
Yeah, no, they've got to want to change first, right?
Yeah.
And we're not convinced by logic, you see. But however, when we have an emotional experience like a heart attack and we're lying in bed and there's beep, beep, beep going on around us, everything changes. Now we've had an emotional experience.
Well, one of the things I would say that you don't want to do, like in that situation, is it's not good to lower people's status. So you've got to have an approach to where you can get the message across, but at the same time, you know, hey, you're an idiot. Don't do that. Here's why. I mean, you have to have a more palatable message to not lower the status, because people, if you lower somebody's status, they're shutting down, they're out of there. I mean, and I've seen that happen we see it happen with religion as well. People that start helping other people understand religion, and then it just totally goes south.
Yeah.
So are you suggesting Diet Coke instead of regular Coke?
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so is it going to be is the big differentiator going to be Diet Coke? No, it still stimulates still stimulates insulin. But people know that, and then people want to argue. Oh no, it doesn't because of this and that. So it's always an interesting thing on how people interpret what you're trying to do. So
Patrick, was his PhD in physiology by chance? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So next.
No, Armin is right there. You see, people are not convinced. You see, if you say to some people today is Thursday, they say be reasonable.
No, in all seriousness, I think the problem is that we've been conditioned to believe that something is diet and it's 0 calories. It doesn't have an effect on you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have this.
I mean,
I have this back and forth. I have this back and forth.
That's the beautiful message. You know, who wants to argue with that? But at the end of the day, there's more to it.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying I mean, I had this with my wife. This goes back years ago when she just, something was low in fat. That doesn't mean it's low in calories. And it's that kind of
marketing.
It was that kind of back and forth that we've had many of discussions.
See, that's another point. You could say low in fat, but then you're talking calories. And the calorie is not a calorie. But the food companies and everybody else wants you to think that. There's a big difference, but that's another argument.
Yep. All right. Just got notice that my next meeting is starting in 10 minutes. We still have to hear from a couple of people if they want. It's not necessary, but haven't heard yet from Armand. Moshe, we haven't heard yours. And then Cheryl, are you ready? Cheryl?
Yep. Yes,
all right.
I am. And this is all new. Anyway.
Oh, awesome.
Are you leaving money on the table? Are you aware that you can put money into an account that you can borrow from, or even create lifetime income? We helped a family just in time. Daddy passed just after we put his plan in place. We only have today. Are you prepared? Book a time with me to talk about what you want your finances to look like when you walk off the planet.
Wow, really pulling at the heartstrings there. Wow.
So there's more heart than thought there.
No, that's great. I love it. Sometimes that's what it takes, right? It's a rude awakening sometimes.
I have a question for the group. How do you guys feel about starting with a question like that, like Cheryl did? I thought it like, oh, I listened, so I'm wondering if that's something I should incorporate in mine.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I think the psychology of it is exactly what you said, right? It makes you listen. What I'm getting tested here. It's a question. I better pay attention.
I think it depends on what different people do. In the case of what you do, Michelle, it definitely plays a role because of all the research and so forth you do for companies. Going back to what Tom said as well, because of that, I think it does make a difference, because if they want to put money into something without knowing what the results are going to be, or what their market's going to be, hope and prayer. That's one. And that's how I say, do you live by hope and prayer?
Yes.
If you do your business decision is based on hope and prayer. If that's not the case, no, I know. I mean, that would be my 2 cents, which is probably all it's worth at most.
So Cheryl,
I think Michelle has a great question there, because when you meet somebody so briefly and you say to them, how you doing, what's going well for you? And then you don't know what's going to come out, but it can be usually, I'm feeling this, or I'm wrecked, or I just lost my house, or, I'm not well, or whatever. Right, tell me more, That's a good question.
You just want to make sure you don't open a can of worms when you ask the question, though.
Yeah, you're right. Good on you.
But I think Cheryl's just putting these questions as a thought-provoking way, not as, okay, you're going to start answering, which was what I'd like. But I think, Cheryl, my feedback would be, you touch on a story, and you very briefly gave us feedback on the great outcome. So maybe talk about just a little bit the peace of mind that people had because they had a plan in place, or some, again, outcome, a little more meat on the outcome, how they felt, or the solution that not the solution, but the problem that was eradicated because he passed away, and they had your process in place, or whatever it is.
Yeah, they got to, she didn't have to work, and they got to go on the trip they were planning. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Go.
That's awesome. Okay, any other feedback for Cheryl? Okay.
By the way, I'm sorry, I was muted. One of the other things I would also try to fill in, maybe not at the same time. I think you need to have different questions for your audience, because it's niche. But I would also start to ask certain people, especially those who maybe more religious or more involved in other causes, what do you want your legacy to be? And use that as a way to help them, because they may want to set up a fund in the name of something, in their name, for continuous income to go into a certain charity. I was working with someone on that in my area as part of the benefit of a reverse mortgage, as it relates to different events at a synagogue that they may want to sponsor long after they've left this world, in their memory, or in the memory of somebody else in the family who may have died prior to them, sort of thing. So that may be another pitch you could use. I don't want to say that instead of, but something else to consider.
Thank you. Yep, good idea.
Armand or Moshe, did you want to share your pitch?
I can go if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a certified longevity. Well, so depending on how I enter, but basically, if somebody's asking, well, what do you do? I'm going to say, well, I really help to guide individuals to understand enduring well-being, and also how to get the desired physique of their choice by cultivating basically a holistic approach that is going to encompass proper mindset, nutrition, supplementation, exercise, recovery, and hormone optimization for sustained results. So with that being said, my mission is really to assist people who are facing different challenges in comprehending the most effective strategies for actually reducing body fat, enhancing their energy levels, restoring and increasing muscle tone, and also boost their confidence by getting these things corrected. And this helps, again, mitigate the effects of aging. So I'm really driven to assist different individuals, that face these obstacles by doing a personalized, customized strategy to enhance these different areas. But this is all aimed and fostered by other medical groups that also support the mission that I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
In your case, all I could think of was that Saturday Night Live routine. It's better. I forgot who it was. Not Fernando Lamas. I forgot his name. It was better to look good than to feel good. You know.
That's
Yeah.
Fernando Lamas, yes.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know
work
what's
to have both,
important,
though.
right?
You don't
Yeah,
necessarily
I
have to have
guess
both, but you know.
for me, Armand, I think sharing your, personal, not only your accomplishments or your certifications might be helpful, because there's so many people that want to be, health coaches that don't have the background and experience that you have. So somehow, I know you might think it's, self-promoting, but you need to talk about, your certifications or even being on the pro circuit yourself. I mean, to me, there's just so many healthcare providers out there that would make the difference to me, is that you actually know what you're talking about.
Well, and that being said, typically if you're meeting me in person, it kind of comes with the package. Okay, so because I have people approach me, then this is why I have to end up, because they're like, what do you do? So I get that. All right, I just picked up a client at an event I was at because, he was like, "What do you do?" And then I started explaining it. So, but yeah, I get you. I mean, now I go into that, but sometimes people kind of throw that to the side because a lot of people have certifications. They don't mean a lot, but I get that.
Right.
I mean, so, but yeah,
Right.
if I need to, I'll say, well, I am a pro bodybuilder, but some people don't really care for that either, in the sense that, well, okay, good for you, but so I can gingerly bounce around the, accreditation thing as needed.
Okay, good. Other feedback for Armand?
Very good, very good.
Yeah, I would cut it down, Armand.
I would.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But again, this is really not an elevator pitch. It's what I normally do in a networking group. So yeah, it needs to be tightened up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And something to grab their attention up front.
Right.
Yeah.
Moshe,
do you feel as good as you want to feel? I mean, something that that would tie to their well-being. Something. Are you having a hard time keeping your New Year's resolution? Or I don't know, that I don't like that one.
Yeah.
But
What about when's the last time you stripped down naked in front of a mirror and smiled?
when I was 22.
Hey,
well,
Greg,
smiled or laughed?
Yeah, just one consideration. What do? You could say, well, I help people to be the last person standing in the pension scheme. Now that's a definite opener.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we literally only have 30 seconds now, Moshe, if you wanna go.
I'll tell you what, let's save it for next time. I'll do the feedback so that way I can
Okay.
get the critique I need. But thank you very much.
In the chat, please save the chat. There's an opportunity for you to practice your pitch on Tuesday. So Tuesdays at noon Pacific time. Noon Pacific time. This is an event that Mike Hayes has launched. It's a speed networking for 1.5 hours, and then we go right into a Well Wave Now meeting. So please join us on Tuesdays if you're available. Save the chat, and yeah, we'll continue on with this and other discussions next week. We have HR payroll benefits expert with Insperity that's going to be joining us, Dan. So I look forward to next week.
May I just thank Michelle for putting up the 4 keys to make it easier to figure out what to do for a sales pitch today. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, good job, everyone.
Thank
See you
you.
next week.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye now.
In an hour.
Bye-bye.